let's move to, on that note, the first responders, because we know this has been an exhausting week. It's been traumatic for so many.
Right.
But there are positive stories, and there was a moment that was captured down in Las Vegas when all of these victims, all of the people who were there at the concert that night were in a room waiting to get direction on where to go next. The first responders walked in, and they all started to stand, and you can imagine they had been up for many hours. They had seen the unthinkable. This video, though, gives me chills.
Yep, you see the people there, and you just hear the sounds of applause, because that's all you can do. You know, you can say thank you, you can hug, you can just give them the standing O that they deserve. And again, and we say it over and over, they walk in while all of us are trying, you know, us as just normal people trying to walk out of a scary situation. So, and it takes a certain level of training, whether you're in the military or you're a first responder, or, you know, we go back to my friend Jenna and her little brother who's a security guard who may not get that training at that level, but there's something that goes, you have to, your psyche has to change when you're in that position, because you do have a family, you do have kids at home, but you do have a job to execute. And even though there's, and this is interesting because it comes at a time in our country, right, when there's so much debate about police brutality, and that's a whole different conversation, but this may give that other side right now to show that, you know, there are the good officers out there who put their lives literally on the line, and good bystanders, good people who are helping people.
Yeah, because there are a lot of stories as well of people who haven't been trained, who were just there hanging out with their friends, or maybe with their wives or girlfriends or strangers, who kind of jumped into action. And in that, and that's to me one of the best things to see, because you don't know what you'll do in a situation like that.
Don't.
And so to know if something like this goes down, you'll be able to keep your head, do whatever you can to help other people. Like, people were throwing people in their cars and in the back of trucks that they didn't even know, and driving them away. So to be able to do that in a situation like this, that speaks volumes.
And again, there are so many stories of heroes, of just the average human becoming a hero in this moment. There was a woman by the name of Michelle Vo, who was a UC Davis graduate, which is right, you know, about 20 minutes away from Sacramento. And she lost her life in the shooting, but the story of the person who tried to save her, we've shared it on our Facebook page at ABC 10. I put it on my Facebook page as well. You should definitely go and read it and check it out. But Cody Robertson is being hailed a hero because they met at the concert, and they were hanging out. They went and got a drink. They were just there. She was there alone. He was there with the group, but they just started hitting it off, and they were chatting, and then all of a sudden the unthinkable happened, and they were right next to each other, and she was shot and he wasn't. And he stayed with her, and he made sure that she got the care that she needed. He walked to the hospital to try to find her. He walked along the Las Vegas Strip 4 miles.
Had her purse on his shoulder and was just carrying it, had her phone in his hand, couldn't access the phone because, of course, an iPhone, I'm assuming it was locked, couldn't get it until one of her family members, her brother-in-law, called. He answers it right away and gave the information, and then that brother-in-law goes on to say that in the hours after, when they're trying to look for her, they're doing everything they can in Seattle to try to figure out where she's at in the hospital. He's on the ground trying to figure it out, but the brother-in-law said no matter how many times we called, you know, the 1-866 number that they put out there, they called the hospitals, and they couldn't get through to anybody. They always had his voice because he had her hand or had her phone, and until they eventually found her. And unfortunately she had already passed, but he was able to be that line of contact, and then the family came down, was able to meet him in person, checked her out of her room.
Right, and the way body, that the remarkable part about that too is that he went to 2 different hospitals to try to find her, walking, by the way. Then he finally found her at the one hospital, and he was asking, do you have a shorter Asian woman with a tattoo on the back, and like describing everything he could. The doctor finally came down and said, yeah, I think she's here, and she didn't make it. So he was, you know, able to use her phone, her family far away, on speakerphone with the doctor, and he was able to have them connect that way. And it's just, it gives you chills to know that that was her outcome and her fate, but to know that this man who knew nothing about this woman before Sunday night. There are so many stories like that, these heroes that were just everyday, average country fans who had to step into action.
And on a side note too, just about the iPhone, and this is not unrelated, but people don't know about it. If you have an iPhone and you have the passcode screen and you hit emergency and then a medical ID, You can put your contact information, emergency contact,
I did
your
not know that,
pictures.
Cornelia.
You can put address, your insurance information, your height, anything in there. So in case something does happen, you have an iPhone, they can't get into the phone. They can at least call the people that are listed.
Show that one
under
more
your
time, 'cause
medical
I think
ID.
that's really
so
important.
if you are on your iPhone screen and you hit emergency, right there, medical ID.
But you have to put that in the back end somewhere, because right now I
Right.
don't even have an option.
Yeah, you have to fill it out.
You have to fill it out.
Yeah.
So
once
you can
you
put all of
enable
your
it.
information, even your picture. So if something does happen and people can't get in your phone, but they need to call someone, they can call whoever you have listed. You can put, if you have any medical conditions, you're on any medications, you can put it right in there.
That's great. That's really
I
valuable
did not know
information.
that. I'm wondering how you get in to fill out that.
Do you remember how you filled it out?
I'm in the back end now.
You know how it
Yes.
goes. You usually have to Google something.
You have to find, like,
Yeah,
you had
Probably
you
to,
in
have to-
settings.
I had
watch
to
a video
find
on how
it.
to
Yeah,
program
you
your
had to
phone.
find it, but
Well,
once I
But you can
found
do
it,
And while you
it
guys
was
are-
right there. And
while you
I'll
guys
keep
are-
looking and we'll do research
Maybe
and
you
we'll
fill
let
it out
you
right
guys
now,
know.
huh?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to find out.
So one of the clips that I saw, which was everything all at once about strangers coming together to try and help, was where someone was in a truck and they were driving by the scene, and someone came up and said, "Hey," very polite, "Hey, I'm sorry, we need your truck right now. We need to load people in the truck." And they were at first, because they're trying to get out of there, and then they said, "Okay, no problem, let's go, load them up and let's go, we're going to the hospital." And it was just that split moment of everything is confusing, somebody needs help, and we're going to help right now. They were a bystander, they were trying to get out of the area, and they became immediately engaged and involved in trying to save people's lives. And who knows, maybe they did, because every second counts.
Absolutely.
And that truck became an ambulance and at least transported people to where they needed to go instantly.
I asked earlier if changes were made to hotels, would you be in favor of that? And we have a couple of people weighing in. Aloysa, I apologize if I mispronounced her name, but thank you for chiming in, says whatever they have to do to keep people safe, then do it. Eddie Thompson, good morning to you. Eddie said, if it keeps my family and other people around me safe, by all means take whatever procedures are necessary. So if you agree or disagree, please chime in. But I think the overall theme here is so many people are saying, okay, nothing was done after Sandy Hook, nothing was done after Pulse. Maybe when it comes to gun legislation, maybe there won't be anything done. But from the hotel's perspective, after seeing something like this, is there something that can be done? And so, you know, I say by all means, do what they need to do to keep me and my family safe as well. So I agree with both of you.
So I found it.
Okay, where are we at?
Okay, so on your iPhone there is an app called Health.
Oh, okay.
It's a
I'm in
little
the-
heart.
I'm gonna try to do this with you.
Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't.
Okay, let's see.
there.
I'm seeing.
It has a little heart, white box.
Okay,
named heart.
I'm in.
You're in Health.
Yep.
So then you go through the steps. So you click next,
Next.
and then you can put all of your information in here, which is optional.
Okay, there you go. So
But
you can
then
put first,
continue.
last name, date of birth, sex, height, weight.
And then continue, create medical ID.
There we go.
That's where you put all of your emergency info. So medical conditions.
And then up on top it says show when locked.
Exactly.
Your medical ID can be viewed when iPhone is locked by tapping emergency, then medical ID. So if you don't have that on, it won't do it. So make sure it's green and then fill it all out. That's really great information.
You put your
Cornelia.
picture. Again, anyone that you need that to be contacted, medications, if there's
Blood
a specific
type.
hospital, blood type.
Yeah.
If just anything. And again, one key thing is your picture, because sometimes you need to be identified. And it's that simple. But people don't know about that. Some people do, but there you go. Fill it out, because what if something does happen where someone has your phone, they can't get into the phone, need to call someone, they don't know who to call.
They don't know your name.
They don't know your name,
Yeah.
but you have your phone on you and
That's
you have that
great.
information.
And you can even put on here allergies and reactions.
Yeah.
Medical notes, blood type.
Yeah. That's good for parents who have kids with cell phones too, for their kids to have that stuff, because
They may not
you
know
don't
that.
remember all that about
They may
yourself.
not know that
Yeah.
offhand. They may. I mean, it's very easy to get that confused.
Right,
So yeah,
right.
put it in your kid's
And
phone.
add emergency contact. That's there you go.
That's great.
You just pick someone from your album right now. Oh, so Stories of Hope. You can find a lot more of them. abc10.com. One more time, producer. Brady.
Brady.
Talk.
Okay. I was like, wait, what? Yes.
Charlie Brown's teacher over here.
Not to hate on you, Brady. It's my ear. It's my ear. It's not you.